I'd like to call to order the City Council meeting for the City of Highland Park, Illinois, October 28th, 2024. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Bruckman.
Here.
Councilmember Ross.
Here.
Councilmember Tapia.
Here.
Councilmember Littlewer.
Here.
Councilmember Stone.
Here.
Councilmember Bloomberg.
Here.
Mayor Rotering.
Here, we have a quorum. Everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular council meeting held October 15th, 2024?
I move to approve them as amended.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those minutes are approved. May I have a motion to approve the warrant list?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions on the warrant list? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the vote?
Councilmember Bruckman.
Aye.
Councilmember Ross.
Aye.
Councilmember Tapia. Councilmember Littlewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Stone.
Aye.
Councilmember Bloomberg.
Aye.
Mayor Rotering.
Aye, 7 ayes, no nays, and the warrant list is approved. We'll now move to the report of the mayor. In the year since October 7th, 2023, we've experienced an alarming increase in anti-Semitism across the country. This past summer, we experienced offensive and disruptive anti-Semitism here in Highland Park that brought hateful words and actions into our neighborhoods and the heart of our downtown. In just the past few weeks, we saw anti-Semitic language emblazoned on hacked billboards on the North Shore and anti-Semitic graffiti in a neighboring community. This is not who we are as Highland Parkers, as Chicagoans, as Americans. We're proud to be a welcoming and affirming community, and we stand in solidarity with our Jewish neighbors and the congregations and organizations that call our community home. We will continue to collaborate with federal, state, and regional law enforcement partners to monitor intelligence and implement proactive public safety measures. When we are united with our neighbors, we reinforce our shared values and we promote the safety of our communities. We also continue to stand in solidarity with all those who are still being held hostage in Gaza, as we have for more than a year. We join their loved ones in Highland Park and around the world in calling for their immediate and safe return. I have no appointments this evening. I have no proclamations this evening. I am delighted to welcome Moraine Township Supervisor Ann Flanagan-Bassey to share information regarding open enrollment in health insurance plans through the Affordable Care Act.
Hello, friends. Thank you for giving me a few minutes tonight. For the first time since the ACA opened the marketplace on October 1st, 2013, Illinois this year will have its own marketplace rather than using the federal marketplace. This is a change. The Illinois marketplace is getcoveredillinois.com. And the ACA, as you know, is a place for people who've lost jobs, they're divorcing, they're retiring early, they're aging out of their parents' plan, they're starting their own business and need to get access to health care. For income qualified people, there may be premium subsidies, help with copays and deductibles that are available to them. Even if residents were on a marketplace plan in '24, they might want to look at getcoveredillinois.com. The marketplace opens on November 1st to see if there might be plans that are better for them to help balance their or their family's medical needs and budget. So Moraine Township, since the beginning of the ACA, has worked to get certified application counselors or navigators trained and certified. They train with CMS, Centers for Medicaid and Medicare, and they go through training every year on the marketplace, on CMS, and get licensed as brokers in Illinois. Our CACs have spent hours with people. They'll help them look up their doctors on a plan. They'll help them look up, does a plan carry certain medications? And, just work with them as long as possible or as long as necessary to find the plan that works for them. The service is free and none of our CACs have any conflicts. They are not affiliated with any insurance company, and they are not trying to sell you anything. They're trying only to help you. I hear a lot of ads about, call us, we'll help you. The service is free, and our CACs do this because they're just wonderful people. If you or someone you know would like to meet in person or on the phone with a CAC, they can do it on the phone by each of you being on a computer screen, and they'll walk you through it, or in person, call Moraine Township 847-432-3240, or send an email to info@morainetownship.org. Because we use volunteers for this service and not staff paid with taxpayer dollars, we can offer this service to non-Moraine residents. So if somebody works in Highland Park but lives in Morton Grove and wants to work with our counselors, the service is free and available to non-Moraine residents. Any questions? The marketplace opens November 1st and is open until January 15th for 2025 insurance.
I just want to make one comment, because you come here every year to tell us about this wonderful program and the wonderful volunteers that help you. My son called a few months ago. He has two friends who are artists and who are in their early 20s, live in New Mexico, and they had a fire in their studio, which is also where they live, and had some health impacts of that and had to go to the doctor. And he called me and said, "Mom, help, they don't have health insurance. What do we do?" And because you're here every year, I was able to look up the marketplace in New Mexico and get the information to them, and they are now insured. So
Wow.
your impact is far and wide.
Thank you. And while the people can enroll, I believe, in their federal marketplace plans when they get the enrollment, they really might want to either check online, get coveredillinois.com, or work with a CAC to see if there might be a better plan. We don't know until November 1st what plans are out there. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this important resource, Supervisor Bassi. We also encourage individuals who are eligible for or currently enrolled in Medicare to explore their options during Medicare open enrollment, which runs through December 7th. Assistance with Medicare open enrollment is available through the Highland Park Senior Center and Moraine Township. You can visit cityhpil.com to learn more about Affordable Care Act open enrollment and Medicare open enrollment assistance. Continuing on, 2nd Street's grand reopening is happening November 2nd. This year, we invested more than $10 million in infrastructure projects in downtown Highland Park, including newly resurfaced streets and parking lots, improved and fully accessible pedestrian crosswalks, new street furniture and fixtures in Port Clinton and throughout the district. The centerpiece of this investment was the complete reimagining of 2nd Street with expanded sidewalks, bump outs to facilitate outdoor dining facilities, lighting, streetscape amenities, brick pavers to create harmony between the vibrant shopping and dining options along 2nd Street and the plaza-like features along Central Avenue and more. There's never a convenient time for major construction and infrastructure improvements, but the patience and understanding of business owners, property owners, residents during construction season in Highland Park was deeply appreciated. So to celebrate these new improvements, we're excited to host a ribbon cutting ceremony on Saturday, November 2nd, from 3 to 5 p.m. along 2nd Street. Come join us. We'll have a live DJ, a festive giant snow globe for photo ops, jugglers roaming along 2nd Street, face painting at Michael's, balloon artist at BYG, and much more. So many 2nd Street businesses are partnering with us to make this event special and fun for all ages. Other businesses planning exclusive promotions and giveaways include Danucci's, Gearhead, Ivy Me, Highland Park, New York Slices, Real Skin Aesthetics, Ross, Style Shack, Summer Classics Home, and Wayfair Theaters and more. Visit enjoyhighlandpark.com to learn more, and we will see you at 3 p.m. on 2nd Street on November 2nd. And then, if that's not enough excitement for you, join us at the lot at 5 p.m. for Stews and Brews and Blues, and let the fun continue all night with delicious comfort food from Highland Park restaurants, fire pits, and live Chicago blues music till 9 p.m. Veterans Day is also coming up, November 11th. It's Monday, November 11th, and we hope everyone will join us for the city's annual Veterans Day ceremony at 11 a.m. at the Highland Park Public Library. Presented in partnership with the American Legion Post 145, Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 4737, and Jewish War Veterans Post 29, we'll welcome Congressman Brad Schneider, Illinois Senator Julie Morrison, and Illinois State Rep Bob Morgan to this meaningful event honoring Highland Park's veterans. Highland Park's oldest living World War II veteran at 100 years young, Army Captain Gerald Rubel, will be recognized as a hero among us. He was nominated by the American Legion. We're also honored to welcome Lieutenant Colonel Nathan E. Werve, United States Marine Corps, as our active duty keynote speaker, who will speak about patriotism and commitment to country and service exemplified by American veterans and servicemen and women. Additionally, Senior Vice Commander of the American Legion Post 145, Sonia Martin, who is a retired member of the U.S. Army, will read a poem on behalf of the city's poet laureate, Laura Joyce Hubbard, herself a retired Air Force major. And as always, the Highland Park High School Brass Quintet and 3 student vocalists will perform wonderful, appropriate music. We encourage everyone to join us. Take your time. It's a day off, but you can be with us and celebrate our veterans at the library at 11 o'clock on November 11th. And last, but certainly not least, early voting is underway. We encourage everybody to make a plan to vote in the upcoming general election. During early voting, Lake County voters can vote at any community site in the county. The 2 closest to Highland Park this year are Deer Spring Pool in Deerfield and the Highland Park Public Library and Community Center. You might ask,
No, Highwood.
Highwood Public Library and Community Center. Why are there no early voting sites in Highland Park? Construction at the senior center and planned construction at the library resulted in the Lake County Clerk's Office decision to not have early voting in Highland Park this year, but we will absolutely be pursuing the return of early voting to our town as soon as possible. To view a list of early voting locations as well as information about returning a voted mail-in ballot or election day information, please visit cityhpil.com/election. As a reminder, on election day itself, you have to vote at your assigned polling place. The Lake County Clerk's Voter Power website offers a number of resources to help you prepare to cast your vote. Through Lake Voter Power, you can preview your ballots. You can learn more about the offices and questions that are before the voters this year. Visit lakevoterpower.info and choose the green "What is on my ballot" button to see a preview of your ballot. You can also choose to vote by mail through Voter Power if that is your preference. The deadline to request a mail-in ballot through Voter Power is this Thursday, October 31st at noon. Don't delay. Lastly, if you're eligible to vote but you have not yet registered, there is still time. You can register to vote and cast your ballot during grace period registration at any early voting site or at your assigned polling place on Election Day. Don't forget, your voice matters and every vote counts. And that is it for the report from the mayor. Our next item is business from the council. And as many of you know, we have 18 advisory groups, boards, and commissions composed of well over 100 dedicated volunteers. We're in the midst of welcoming the chairs of these groups to provide reports on their work. Tonight, I would like to welcome Housing Commission Chair Isis Fernandez-Sykes to provide an update. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and provide you an update on the wonderful work that we do at the Housing Commission. And thank you, Councilman Bloomberg, for being our liaison and supporting us through our meetings. And also a big thank you to the staff. I see one person here. Thank you so much. And of course, to our liaison, Rati, who makes our lives so much easy and doable as we do all the things that the commission has to do. So a brief update, as you know, the commission was established in 1973 to engage and develop low and moderate income housing, which is something that we all need. Highland Park has been at the forefront in our area in terms of making sure that there is affordable housing and people can live in our neighborhood. The purpose of the Housing Commission, again, is to make sure that there's affordable housing. So some of the ways that we do that is to oversee the property management and ensure satisfaction and quality of the Housing Commission's affordable properties, which include Pierce Senior Housing, Ravinia Family Housing, and Sunset Woods Rentals. We also ensure that there is remodeling and construction of the properties that we do have under our care to make sure that they're becoming more energy efficient. And of course, stay improving with the latest codes and practices for safe housing. We also administer the city's Affordable Housing Trust Fund and the grant-making program. So under that, we We make sure that the grants for the City Affordable Housing Scattered Sites Program, which is a program where we're able to remodel single home housing, and that is then provided as affordable housing for our community members. And then we also oversee the operating support grant for the City Community Land Trust, which they administer for us the tenant eligibility waiting list and eligibility verification for privately owned inclusionary housing units within otherwise market rate developments. Another big responsibility of the Housing Commission is that we do make recommendations to the council regarding the inclusion of affordable housing in units within market rate developments through our review of inclusionary housing plans pursuant to our Chapter 150 of the City Code. And I believe that's it. Do you have any questions for me?
Any questions?
Okay.
Thank you so much, Chair
Thank
Sykes.
you so
We really
much.
appreciate all of the hard work and your leadership on the Housing Commission, your incredible efforts, and as our city strives to become ever more welcoming and inclusionary, your work is absolutely vital and greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for joining us
Thank you so
tonight.
much.
Thank you. Is there any other business from the council? Nope, okay. Thank you. City Manager Newkirk, will you please provide the staff report?
Thank you, Mayor. There are 4 items on the omnibus agenda. All are recommended for approval. Just want to give a couple of highlights. Number 1 pertains to an exterior improvement grant for Style Shack. As you know, this program was enhanced earlier this year to provide an incentive to new businesses as well as existing businesses to revitalize and improve the exterior appearance of existing buildings. The program provides for a 50% match up to $20,000. Item number 2 is a purchase of computer services, and the resolution has been placed on the dais. It did not get uploaded into Minitrack, so it's not on our website. There were no changes to it, but it is recommended for approval. There's a detailed staff report as part of that agenda item. And then number 4, just want to recognize Director Joel Fontaine, our community development staff, as well as the Plan and Design Commission for the proactive work that was undertaken to support our residents. The agenda item that is on the agenda for consideration requires landscape berms when property is developed in the B3 and I-Light Industrial Zoning District, when the embodied property is resident use or a residential zoning district. So again, very detailed, comprehensive staff report, and all are recommended for approval.
Terrific, thank you. Would you now please introduce the next item on our agenda, business from the public?
Yes. The business from the public is an opportunity for members of the public to address the city council on a topic that is within the council's purview and jurisdiction, but is not listed in another location on the agenda. If individuals would like to speak about a matter that is listed on the agenda, we ask that you wait until that agenda item is called, and we'll give you an opportunity to speak then. If your matter is on the omnibus or consent agenda, please let us know if you would like us to remove that matter from the consolidated list so that you can speak about it. Please be aware that business from the public is not intended to be a forum for open dialogue or engagement with members of the city council. Rather, it is intended as an opportunity to make comments to the city council. Please do not expect a response from anyone tonight. If appropriate, questions may be directed to me as the city manager or other city staff. All comments should be directed to the city council. All speakers will be limited to 3 minutes. We request that speakers refrain from throwing objects or using noisemakers, and that the public not applaud or make any comments after any speaker. We ask that everyone be respectful, civil, and non-repetitive.
Great, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, this is Carl Lambrick speaking again. Small business are the lifeblood of a community. Gasoline stations are all small businesses. The big business is the gasoline company. The gasoline company doesn't care if you buy the fuel in Wisconsin, Missouri, or Kentucky. They're concerned that they sell. The gasoline small business is dependent on the community. If you go to Cairo, Illinois, which I have done, all the gasoline stations were closed simply because the gas tax in places like Missouri is less than 25 cents, much less than in Illinois. I think the same thing is happening up here. When people go to Wisconsin, if you go to the gasoline stations near the border, you will find about as many Illinois plates as you'll find Wisconsin plates near the border. I think it's time we stop doing this, and I think we can stop symbolically by Highland Park cutting its 2-cent tax. That's up to you guys up front. Some years ago, in fact, in the time of the Nazis in Auschwitz, there were 10 men locked in a room without food or drink for 2 weeks. All of them died except one, and they gave him an injection, then they burned them all. There's a small museum in Marytown dedicated to one of them who died, Maximilian Kolbe. Now in the United States, we have something quite similar. A baby, we call it infanticide. All members of the Democrat Party in Illinois, including our congressman who lives somewhere here in Highland Park, voted for infanticide. This is when a baby is supposed to be aborted, comes out alive, then they put it in a closet and let it die quietly, peacefully, death. This has to stop. This is the worst form. We don't even call it abortion anymore. We call it infanticide. And this should be able to stop. Somehow, an ordinance in Highland Park could take care of Highland Park for this terrible thing. This bill that was in Congress was voted on in 2023. Schneider and every Democrat in Illinois voted for that. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I'm just going to correct a statement that you made, and that is that no state in this country allows the murder of children after they are born. That's a fact.
What?
I just said what I said, and I thank you
I
for
couldn't
coming
hear
this
you.
evening.
I was looking the other way.
That no state in this country permits the murder of children after they are born. That is not true.
They are put in a closet and allowed to die.
Thank you for coming this evening, Mr. Lambrecht.
Yeah.
Anybody else wish to be heard from the public? Please state your name for the record.
Levi Kane. No surprise that the RISE plan took a nosedive, rejected by those who'd rather keep Highland Park shackled than provide tax relief to the citizens. I really thought everyone up there would be for an economic surplus, environmental sustainability, helping our local businesses, funding for our schools, and equitable pay. But maybe those are all just buzzwords after all. Nancy Pants up there says, the festival is the second largest employer of the city. Like that's something that's gonna go away if we implement one of these plans. I mean, can we pull our heads out of the clouds for a few seconds here? How much good is this employment doing for us anyways? The employment is seasonal, which we all know comes with a variety of limitations, not to mention the fact that it's 100% dependent upon tourism and good publicity. Well, I think we can all agree that after last year's numbers, it's pretty obvious that the festival deciding to file suit against a local business over the name of the neighborhood isn't exactly the best PR that they were hoping for, was it? The idea that the festival will magically pick up and move away to become the Deerfield Lawn and Garden Music Festival isn't going to happen, ever, okay? And don't worry about concessions going up in price. Did anyone ever stop to think that might be a good thing? Maybe concert goers might spend their time at our other local businesses that are open year-round. Places like Maddie's Market, for example. I'm sure she'd get a lot better traffic if she could just rename her business to Maddie's Market of Ravinia. But oh no, can't have that. I'm sure the festival wouldn't stand for a small business naming the place after the name of the neighborhood when they're selling food and beverage, especially when they got signs like these right outside, depictions of food, beverage, and music with the name Ravinia. Oh, they probably have to file suit against her too. You know, our city council here says they want what's best for our community, and they insist that these matches are not interwoven with the Ravinia Music Festival. So are you just that petty that you're rejecting these plans just because they're coming from me? Or is there something else at play? Andres has recently stepped down from his board member position, but Nancy has kept hers with the Women's Board. She's also never, not once, ever, publicly or formally denounced the wrongdoing that the festival has done to one of her city's locally owned businesses. I mean, it's no wonder you have to pay people $500,000 a pop of our tax dollars for them to bring their business models to Highland Park. We have a bottomless fountain of gold that they are refusing to let our city drink from. That just kind of makes you think, doesn't it? Modern problems require modern solutions. And your vote next week is key to real change. If you're looking for fresh leadership and new ideas, vote yes on the top middle section on the back of the ballot to allow all qualified citizens to serve as elected officials and let us all move Highland Park forward together. Now smash that like button, hit subscribe, and you can have a delightful evening. Good night.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to be heard? Seeing none, we'll move on to our scheduled business. Items 1 through 4 have been grouped together for omnibus consideration. May I have a motion to approve items 1 through 4?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on items 1 through 4? Any from the public? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the vote?
Councilmember Brockman.
Aye.
Councilmember Ross.
Aye.
Councilmember Tapia.
Aye.
Councilmember Littlewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Stone.
Aye.
Councilmember Bloomberg.
Aye.
Mayor Rotary.
Aye, 7 ayes, no nays. Items 1 through 4 have been approved. I am now seeking a motion to go into closed session.
Move to go into closed session to discuss litigation and employment matters pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C11 and 2C1 respectively.
Second.
Thank you. Will the clerk please call the vote?
Councilmember Brockman.
Aye.
Councilmember Ross.
Aye.
Councilmember Tapia.
Aye.
Councilmember Littlewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Stone.
Aye.
Councilmember Bloomberg.
Aye.
Mayor Rotary.
Aye, 7 ayes, no nays. We will now go into closed session. Thank you.